Hello, and welcome back to Learn English. I'm Martin.
And I'm Luna. We are delighted that you are joining us for today's essential lesson.
Before we start, if you are new here, or if you find these lessons helpful, please click that subscribe button right now and give this video a like. Your support truly helps our channel grow.
That's right. Today, we are focusing on a very real and important topic for many of our listeners around the world. We are going to have a practical English conversation about my life as an immigrant worker.
We often talk about office jobs, but today we will discuss the daily routines, the hard work, and the unique challenges faced by people who have moved to a new country for work.
This conversation is about adaptation, learning a new culture, and the language needed for everyday survival. We will use simple phrases to talk about difficult topics like long hours and feeling homesick.
Exactly. We want to help you feel more confident communicating those experiences. We will cover everything from early morning shift work to future goals.
So, let's open up this conversation and start discussing our new routine. Martin, since we are both working far from home, tell me about your current job. What kind of work do you do now?
I work in a large processing plant, a factory. I'm responsible for packaging goods on the assembly line. It's often called shift work.
Shift work is tough. I know those long hours can be difficult. What are your typical hours?
I usually work the night shift. I start at 10 p.m. and finish at 6 a.m. I find that working nights is the only way to earn enough to send money home and save a little.
That is a huge sacrifice. Night shifts mean you sacrifice your sleep schedule and miss out on daytime activities.
Exactly. I come home when the sun is coming up, try to sleep for 7 hours, and then I have a small window of time to run errands before going back to the factory. It's a very repetitive and demanding schedule.
I can only imagine. My job is different, but also very demanding. I am working as a cleaner at a local hospital.
Oh, a hospital cleaner. That's essential work, but I'm sure it's hard. What does your job involve on a daily basis?
It involves cleaning and sanitizing patient rooms, operating rooms, and public areas. I have to follow very strict cleaning protocols. My work is also shift work, but I rotate. This week, I'm on the early morning shift.
An early morning shift? What time do you have to wake up?
My alarm goes off at 4:30 a.m. I need to be on the hospital floor by 5:30 a.m. to start cleaning before the doctors and patients wake up fully. It's exhausting, but I prefer the early shift to the late shift.
So our routines are completely inverted. I'm just leaving work when you're starting yours.
Yes, my biggest challenge is maintaining my energy throughout the day, especially since the work is physically demanding. Now, we use English all day at work. Let's talk about how the language barrier impacts these jobs.
Good point. That's a whole different level of challenge.
Luna, my job is physically demanding, but the language barrier makes everything 10 times harder. How challenging is communication in the hospital for you?
It's the biggest hurdle, Martin. When the hospital is busy, people speak very quickly and often use local slang or medical terms. It feels like they forget I'm still learning English.
I know that feeling. At the factory, instructions are often shouted over loud machines. I frequently have to ask, could you please repeat that more slowly?
Asking people to repeat is necessary, but it feels exhausting. My main challenge is understanding safety protocols. If I mishear an instruction about cleaning chemicals or using certain machinery, the mistake could be dangerous.
That is a serious concern. The language of safety is non-negotiable. I try to practice bilingualism at work, meaning I mentally translate complex instructions right away, but it slows me down.
Do your colleagues try to help you with the language?
Some are very patient, but others get frustrated quickly, especially the supervisors. I learned 2 key phrases. Could you clarify the next step, please? And I understand the task, but not the local accent.
That second phrase is brilliant. I should use that. In the hospital, I learned the importance of nonverbal cues. A lot of my communication with patients is done through gestures, like smiling, nodding, and pointing, especially when I'm just changing linens or cleaning their area.
That's smart. Nonverbal communication helps build trust when words fail. Do you feel your English is improving because of the job?
Definitely, but slowly. I am constantly learning new phrases specific to the hospital, like sharps container or infection control. It's a very specific kind of vocabulary that you don't learn from a textbook.
I agree. My factory vocabulary is also highly specific. Assembly line, quality control, shift change. It feels like we are learning two different types of English.
We are, and that daily pressure to communicate perfectly is very tiring. Now, we should move on to talk about the logistics of getting to those jobs.
The commute and the logistics. Another daily struggle.
So, Luna, the job itself is hard, but getting to and from work every day adds another layer of difficulty. What is your commute like, especially for that 5:30 a.m. shift?
It's long and cold. I rely completely on public transportation, specifically the early morning bus and then the subway. I have to leave my apartment by 5 a.m. sharp.
Relying on public transport means you are always worried about delays. Do the buses run on time that early?
Not always. If the bus is late, I miss my subway connection, and then I'm late for my shift. Since my schedule is so tight, I always build in a little buffer time, maybe 15 minutes, but that means waking up even earlier.
I understand. Time management is everything. My commute is later, but still challenging. I live far from the factory, so I take the train. The biggest issue is when the train is too crowded with other workers.
Overcrowding is stressful. And what about daily necessities? Do you bring your own food for your 8-hour night shift?
Always. I bring food from home because the canteen at the factory is too expensive. It's hard to find affordable and healthy food near where I live, so I cook large batches of simple meals every Sunday. This saves money and time.
I do the same thing. Cooking large portions saves time, which is the most valuable thing we have. Since hospital food is expensive, I rely on packing my own lunch. It's important to find food that is both affordable and gives me enough energy for cleaning.
That's a practical necessity for every immigrant worker, finding ways to be economical without sacrificing nutrition.
Exactly. And because our work schedules are so rigid, even small things like going to the grocery store or doing laundry have to be planned meticulously around our shifts. Do you find it difficult to run errands during the day when you're sleeping?
Extremely difficult. The post office and the bank close exactly when I wake up. I often have to sacrifice a few hours of sleep just to manage my basic paperwork. It makes the day feel much longer.
That's the reality of shift work in a new country. You're always chasing time.
We certainly are. Now, let's talk about the emotional and cultural side of living this life.
A very important step. Let's talk about feeling homesick next.
Luna, working hard and managing the logistics is one thing, but dealing with the emotional side of being an immigrant worker is another. How often do you feel homesick?
Very often, Martin, especially during the night shift. When I'm alone cleaning the hospital corridors late at night, I miss my family and my home country's traditions terribly. That feeling of homesickness is probably the biggest challenge we face.
I understand. For me, that feeling hits hardest on Sundays. When I call my family and they are all together, I feel a huge distance. It takes a lot of resilience to remember why we are here.
Resilience is the perfect word. We must keep moving forward. Aside from missing home, what is the biggest cultural difference you face at your factory job?
The work culture is very different. In my home country, we always help each other with tasks. But here, the culture is very individualistic. It's strictly do your job and don't talk much. It makes building genuine relationships with my colleagues very difficult.
I face similar issues with social life. My colleagues in the hospital are generally polite, but making friends outside of work is tough. They don't seem to have the time, and they don't always understand my cultural background or why I send money home.
And it's hard to make friends with other locals when our schedules are so antisocial. When I'm sleeping during the day, I miss out on all the social events. How do you try to adapt or cope with the isolation?
I rely on the small community of people from my country who live in the area. We share food, we speak our native language, and we support each other. It's a small way to fight the homesickness. What about you?
I found a local gym that opens very early. Exercise helps me manage the stress and the time difference. It's a good way to use my small window of awake time productively, even if it's not strictly social.
That's a good strategy for building resilience. But ultimately, all this hard work is for a better future, right? It all ties back to our goals and the promise of a better life.
Absolutely. We work these tough shift work jobs so we can move forward. Now, let's discuss those future goals.
Martin, we've used several important English words today that are key for anyone adapting to a new country and a demanding job. Let's review them for our viewers.
Excellent idea. We have 5 words that define the life we just described. Our first word is shift work.
Shift work is spelled S-H-I-F-T space W-O-R-K. This means working hours that are outside the typical 9-to-5 workday, like late nights or early mornings.
You can say, I hate doing shift work because it ruins my sleep schedule, but it pays more.
Our second word relates directly to the struggle of moving here. Visa.
Visa is spelled V-I-S-A. A visa is the official document or endorsement that allows you to enter, stay, and work in a country legally.
Correct. We need to be very careful to renew our visa documentation on time. It is necessary for our legal right to be here.
The third word is connected to the difficulty of supporting ourselves here and our families back home. Affordable.
Affordable is spelled A-F-F-O-R-D-A-B-L-E. If something is affordable, it means it's cheap enough for people with limited money to buy it.
We often have to find affordable food options or transportation. For example, I have to cook every day because pre-made meals are not affordable on my wage.
Our fourth word relates to the emotional challenges we discussed. Homesick.
Homesick is spelled H-O-M-E-S-I-C-K. If you are homesick, you miss your home, your family, and your country very much.
That feeling is real. You can say, I feel homesick every time I talk to my parents on the phone.
And finally, a word that describes the strength needed to succeed here. Resilience.
Resilience is spelled R-E-S-I-L-I-A-N-C-E. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficult or tough situations. It means bouncing back from stress.
Our life requires resilience every day to manage the long hours and cultural adjustment.
Absolutely. So remember these 5 words: shift work, visa, affordable, homesick, and resilience. They're very useful for describing this experience.
Now, let's end by talking about why we show such resilience, our future goals.
Martin, we've discussed the demanding shift work and the difficulties of feeling homesick, but all this hard work is for a reason. What is your main goal for the next 2 years?
My primary goal is financial stability, of course. I want to save enough money to secure a better future for my children. Specifically, I want to move out of my shared room and rent a small, affordable apartment for myself.
That is a huge and very achievable goal. Having your own space must feel like a tremendous step forward.
It is. But related to my job,
I also want to move into a position that isn't just physically demanding. I want to find a job where I can use my brain more. Maybe a quality control supervisor role at the factory.
That means you are looking for career progression. You would need strong English for that, especially to manage paperwork and training new people.
Precisely. So I study English online for 1 hour every morning after my shift, before I sleep. I know that improving my English is the key to unlocking a better job and a better wage.
That shows real resilience. I really admire your dedication. My goal is connected to my family. I want to save enough money within the next 3 years to sponsor my younger sister to come join me here.
That is a wonderful goal, Luna. Having family close by would definitely help with the homesickness.
I hope so, but to achieve that, I need to stop working rotating shifts and get a full-time, steady cleaning contract, hopefully still at the hospital. A secure contract makes the visa and sponsorship process much easier.
A secure contract gives you certainty. What about going back to school? Do you ever think about retraining for a different profession?
I do. Once my sister is settled here, I dream of training to become a certified medical assistant. It's a huge dream, but working in the hospital has shown me the possibilities.
That's a fantastic dream. It all requires resilience, discipline, and commitment. We are both sacrificing the present for the promise of a more comfortable and dignified future.
We are, and that is why we keep going. Now, let's wrap up this important conversation.
Martin, that was a truly important conversation covering the reality of life as an immigrant worker. Let's make sure our viewers remember the key takeaways.
Absolutely, Luna. We covered several critical areas today. First, we described the tough reality of shift work and rigid, demanding schedules, whether it's the night shift in a factory or the early shift in a hospital.
Second, we emphasized the non-physical challenges, like the pressure of language and communication in a workplace that uses specific terms, local accents, and relies heavily on understanding safety protocols.
Third, we touched on the daily struggles of logistics and budget management, having a long commute, relying on public transport, and the necessity of finding affordable food options to save money.
And fourth, we acknowledged the emotional weight, the difficulty of managing homesickness and social isolation, and the importance of resilience and support from our small community.
We also successfully reviewed our 5 key vocabulary words: shift work, visa, affordable, homesick, and resilience. We encourage everyone to use these words this week.
Now it's your turn to practice and reflect on your own life experiences. We want to end with our final question of the day for you.
Today's question is, what is the biggest adjustment you have made in your life related to work, language, or routine? And what helped you show resilience?
We know this can be a deep question, but sharing your story helps others. We read every single comment, and when you write, you are practicing your English writing skills.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. Remember that learning English is a huge part of your journey toward a better future, and we're here to support your resilience every step of the way.
If this video gave you confidence or helped you learn something new, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Learn English for our next practical lesson.
See y'all next time.
Bye-bye.